Ladies, Leon Trotsky here bringing you some FIFA 13 gameplay, and we actually got some gameplay today. If you guys are not super familiar with career mode, half of, if not the more exciting parts of career mode are dealing with the menus and the transfer windows and just trading players. Eventually, obviously, you get to the main part of the season and you just start playing the games. And that's what we're getting to. We're starting off, we're still in the transfer window, so we'll get to that. We're starting off with our friendlies, though. We got 3 friendlies at the beginning of the season. If you guys didn't know, I'm playing on World Class. For the record, 5-minute halves. Some people play 4-minute halves. Some people play 6. I find an easy medium between 5-minute, where it doesn't take too long as those 6-minute halves can do. And with 4-minute halves, it just seems like it'd fly by. But we're playing our first game here up against some team that I don't know the name of. This might happen a lot. My pronunciation, I'm an English American. I speak American. And my pronunciation and knowledge of some of these English league teams and some of these random-ass league teams like this one is going to be a little bit lacking. You guys can make fun of me, and that I think will be half the fun, is trying to pronounce names and trying to, get the pronunciation of club names right and everything. Got my goalie here, I think is Walker or something like that. He's actually a younger player, I think 20 years old, and he's actually pretty good. It's a nice little save there from defensive stop. And I push up here with my left midfielder, Azagore, getting a little dribbling going on and just doing my thing. With this 3-5-2, it's all about working those wings. Actually, that's just what I do in general. Get it into paint, or who's this? Harold. Harold's this big, tall, red-headed guy, and he buries it in the back of the net on a clean turn. Nice little passing play to build up the wings, pushing to the center, and just bury it into the top corner. Then it actually dinked in off the post, but it gets in the back of the net, and that's what it gets. That's all that really matters. In this game, it wasn't super easy. I play on World Class. I can play on World Class. Personally, I don't usually like playing on World Class because there's a lot of bullshit that can happen. My defense is playing all right here. I do hold him down. My Richards is this 25-year-old guy. I think his name's Richards, or Kenneth. Kenneth is the guy's name. He plays essentially like my right center back, and he just gets it done sometimes. Him and Rekic just in the defensive guy. I've got another guy that's a little bit faster. I play left center back. He's not in this game, but he will be in future games. But they just get it done. Here we go, stepping in with Payne, and just cannot bury it into the corner. His finishing is just not there. When you play with these bronze players, you start to learn that there's a lot of little things that you got to do right in this game for it to go in, and their little stats make a huge difference. And just the difference in rating between somebody that's like a 65 and a 70 or a 75 is just immense in this game. It is so much harder to finish, literally score a goal with people that are low rated. So you see here, I get a little free kick here, and these are fun little free kicks outside the box where you try and clear it into somebody and I get it short, messed up, but pass it, and then he just clears it out. But the game actually ends up 1-0 against some team that I don't know. But regardless, we win our first friendly, which is always a good start, guys. Always very important to win that first game. Get a goal up, get your team progressing in the right direction, and that's just kind of how it's done. So we got our first win of the season. I guess it's not really the season because it's preseason. Winning start for Trotsky in first friendly. Oh, ha, 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 ha. VR Ashenaten or something? I don't know. Going back here to the squad report, just letting you guys, showing you what's up. We got a lot of players on loan. Like I said, got Tim Payne starting up top. Just trying out players. That's really the big important thing that you want to do with these friendlies, is really try players, put people in different positions. When you go through your squad report and you go through team management, you want to check out the player and see all the different positions that they can actually play, because there's a lot of people that can play different positions and you sometimes wouldn't expect it. Here we're playing Club Brugge. I don't know where they're from. I'm assuming some sort of, I would guess like a Belgian or something like that maybe. I don't think they're Belgian league though, but they're probably something along those lines. Some sort of European, I guess. Yeah, European, because that's along with every other football nation, but whatever. This game was very difficult. I don't know what this team's league is. I don't know what they're rated overall, but they just manhandled me, and they just scored just cheeky little goals. That's the problem when you play on World Class. The computer puts in sweaty goals. They just all the time, just little through balls, just perfect little through balls, perfect little crosses. And I honestly didn't have many chances in this game. I don't know if people were just on. This is probably one of my better chances. And you get a lot of this stuff. A lot of just shots where you're just a little bit off balance and the shot's going to go wide by a mile type of thing. And that wasn't wide by a mile, obviously, but it was pretty wide. And it's just kind of one of those things that happens. But this team, man, I don't know what's up with this Club Brugge, but they just owned me. And it was decent. Look, it's 1-0 still in the 60th minute. And then by the end of the game, I think they scored like 3 more goals on me. And it's just like, what the fuck. But it happens, and it wasn't like they were like really bad goals, or they just broke me down. Look at this perfect little through ball here. Oh, nice little shot. He doesn't miss. That's the thing on World Class. The computer just doesn't miss the shots. And then they do the celebration just to rub it in. And they continue on. And, it's just these perfect little through balls into the side. And that's a problem with my center backs. Maybe they're a little slow. I do eventually trade in one center back for a guy that's a little bit faster. So, it's doing what it's doing. That Wreck-It guy I really like. Just a little through ball and just a little touch on. Like, I don't know if I could even score a goal like that if I wanted to. It was kind of lucky, the damn computer here. Their fanciness. 85th minute, up and down 3-0. And look, they're just going to through ball. Just perfect little passes. Just anticipating every defensive move I do. And, oh, my goalie actually came up with a stop there. That was a nice save. My goalie comes up with some clutch saves for being a low-rated goalie. There's sometimes when I just think I'm dead to rights, and they just put it in. Look at this. Little passing, steps inside, pass to the penalty dot, and just buries it far post. Nothing really I can do about that. I actually controlled possession more than they did. I just didn't get enough shots, didn't get enough goals, lost the game, thank God, as a friendly. I did get finally a transfer offer on my right back here, Woodward's, and they came down really low. If you put people up for transfers, sometimes the other clubs will be like, yo, this guy wants to get rid of this guy, so we're going to bring in a low offer. I mean, he's worth $120,000. They offer me $70,000. I'm like, get out of here. But I did want to sell him. I didn't want to offer too much, so I countered at $110,000, $10,000 less, and they eventually come back and be like, yo, all right, we'll pay you the $10,000, whatever, $110,000. And that's it, another $110,000 that I can spend on whatever I want, whether it be, probably should have bought a better scout. Regardless, we're coming into our third game here versus Verise. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ver something. Oh god, Bristol Rovers Veresi. I got a simple lineup here. I think I did finally start the black striker guy. I got Clarkson. He's another striker that can play center attacking mid or one of the wings. But I do play him as center attacking mid because there isn't a center attacking mid that I did sign eventually on a loan, and I pick him up, but we don't have him yet. So this Clarkson guy is kind of like my backup center attacking mid, or I can play him as a striker. He's a pretty decent player, but he is getting a little bit older here. And we're just moving up those wings, moving up the wings with Azagore here, and pretty early in the game, and if you can't cross it in, just pass it in. Got that guy sitting wide open, bury it far post, though. That was a nice little shot by Thomas Payne. It was very weak. I find that a lot of these lower-level guys have very weak-powered shots. But if you put it in the right spot and you're in the right position, you can sometimes just bury it. So that's what happens there here. We're up 1-0 now. Pushing along. Still having to play some defense because this team, look, broke me down there, stepped past my defender, and just, missed it wide. Sometimes they make it. Sometimes they make it every single time. Sometimes they miss it. I don't know. I think it's scripting. There's a big old conspiracy with EA and scripting this game and 90th minute. Obviously, you can tell it as the game progresses and you get to the 90th minute, especially against better teams. Oh, look. Oh, just wide. Against better teams, I find that they just step up the pressure in the 90th minute. But we finished the game up here 1-0 on World Class. So we finished our third friendly game. And our record in the friendlies is 2-1. Pretty decent because I consider that Club Brugge game was kind of a blowout. Wasn't really expecting them to be as good as they were. And I didn't really play up to my potential. We eventually sell the right back, and I think we get 90,000 pounds. So, had I sold him for 70, I would have got like 50,000 pounds or something horrible like that. But we get 90,000 pounds. Easy to, buy some players or use to scout players. So that's essentially what I'm going to be using it for. And Shrewsbury meet Bristol Rovers demand. So I send him to Shrewsbury, something like that. And so it ends up working out for me. I think we sold a couple other players here, a couple of our really shitty players, like the guys that are worth like 40,000 pounds or something horrible like that. Yeah, so I sold them for 36,000. I get like 20,000 pounds, just money that I'm going to be using to sign these guys. My first scouting report we got here for you, and scouting. I was very tempted to sign this player. The main reason I don't have that much money, and he's only 15 years old. When they're only 15, that means you can't play them yet. So there's really no point unless they're really that super high potential. And I'm thinking about it. I don't do it. I promise you I don't do it. Because he's not a super high potential. I want that 94 potential player. And those are the guys that I'm going to sign when they're under 16. Other than that, if they're 16, I might sign them if I need a position. Just going through the squad report, we're already picking up a few points here and there. Amir Khan got a few points. Who is this? Elliot Richards. This guy actually turns out to be a very good player for me as the season progresses. He's only 20 years old, so it's a decent youth age. But he actually turns out pretty well. A couple other guys got a +1, Clarkson, a couple other guys like that. So it just, it's one of those things you want to keep an eye on the squad report, see who's progressing, see who's not progressing, see who's maybe be getting de-progressing. I don't know what the term is for that, de-evolving or something like that. But we just got to go through it, understanding what players want to play. This guy is a right back that I end up playing at right mid, who actually turns out to be pretty well for me, do pretty well. Just a couple other guys that I'm just flipping through here, seeing, if anybody's got some decent potential. This Mitch Harding guy actually turns out to be a pretty good striker for how crappy his actual rating is. And then this is me just going through my team management, showing people the different positions that I can play in, checking out who I want to play that right midfielder. This Michael Smith guy is the right back that he can actually start, and he actually scores a goal for me at one point in an upcoming game. But they're decent. They're decent players. And the big thing that you got to know with this game is that as you progress, you got to focus on substitutions, and you got to be able to use different players to start. You got to realize that players are going to be tired, and as you progress, if you do play in cup games, you're going to make sure that you got to have depth in your squad, even if they're crappy players. So the depth that I like to find is youth players that are going to progress better and get better and then eventually use them in future seasons. So we'll see how it goes along. We're coming down to the end of this episode. Next episode, we'll have a few more games in it. Obviously, we're getting into our actually regular league season games, so it should be pretty exciting. We'll see how far we can take this series, hopefully all the way to maybe the Premier League. Maybe we'll switch clubs and do some crazy shit. But let me know if you guys have any suggestions, any questions, any comments down below. Other than that, guys, I will see you soon with some more FIFA. You know how we do.